Name start.
Elephant seals.
Elephant seals.
Yeah,
And
they're pretty
that's
cute.
and that's on their channel.
It's on their website.
Oh, the website. That's.
What?
I was
What?
looking for manatees today, and none of
No,
the
not right
manatees
now.
are cooperating today. They all decided that they're all gonna not be anywhere near the cameras.
Yeah.
That is a
All
lot of
right.
seals. Look like a dancing. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So I've already started on my side. Um.
Okay, I'm going.
Or have I? Yes, I have. Sorry. Gosh, every week is a new
Oh
adventure.
boy. Oh boy.
Well, yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. We are back here with KP and Reiha, and we're going to be covering animal rehabilitation today. And we've had a lot of questions submitted to us, which we're very grateful. But of course, as always, feel free to enter it in the chat. And for those that will be listening to this later, you can join our Discord channels where you can submit questions in advance, and so you possibly could hear your question pop up in a future AMA or podcast. So don't forget to join our Discord channels for that exact purpose. Sith Squad, how are we all today? Are we ready for this? It's a very I'm guessing it's going to be a very informative subject, but obviously there might be some things that we might not like to hear but need to hear.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully there's not too much that you don't want to hear.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah, I
all
mean, it's always a
important.
possibility.
It's always important. As always, it's a very important topic. I know we like talking about how floofy animals exist and what they do, but today is a very important subject. So we can learn how these beautiful animals actually get rescued and rehabilitated. And I mean, I saw your recent video, KP. That was awesome about the different organizations, the NOAA, which I now remember and cannot never forget.
Yeah, I mean, it's different no matter, or it's different, depending on where you live for sure. But
Yes.
usually a simple Google search will let you know what's the relevant agency in your area.
Yes, no, absolutely. And I did want to ask the question because I saw that on, if I can start this off, on that little series that's on Cottage Life and that, where they mentioned that Dr. Marty was one of the people that actually started the rehabilitation, or not in so much the rehabilitation, but the rescue of like tangled seals and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, is
Yeah,
it?
yeah. So, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, is it actually a thing? Because I know we also have our own stuff on Namibia, and I'm wondering, like, wow, if that's spread that far, that is amazing. Because it's something that I'd never seen
Yeah.
before, and it suddenly just picked up.
I think where this thing about Dr. Marty sort of comes in is that Marty is one of the only qualified veterinarians to dart anesthetize sea lions and other pinnipeds. Um, so pinnipeds are those like fin feather-footed animals like sea lions and seals and walruses.
Okay. Yes.
And so basically, they have a dive response that can come into effect when you anesthetize them, and essentially their bodies will not breathe. Like their bodies will just not register that they need to breathe. So it is very possible for these types of animals to die under anesthesia because we have just simply not really kind of honed the technique and the like particular drug cocktail that would really be perfect for them. And
Yes.
Dr. Marty is the closest to having done that in a safe possible
Oh,
way.
okay.
So
So that's what he started. Okay, that
yeah,
is
so
massive.
because I think I've seen lots of like in South Africa and Namibia. I've seen like them like untangling
Yes.
fur seals and stuff like that, but they're usually not anesthetized when they're doing it,
Yes,
right?
that's
Like
correct. Yes.
yeah. So that's kind of where Marty is excelling in that area, and he will also travel all around the world really if people need to anesthetize their pinnipeds for whatever
Yes.
reason, for like bigger sort of surgeries and stuff like that. He will often travel to different facilities to help them with that because he is the best at it.
Oh yes, because that's the one thing that I was referring in Namibia. Yes, we only see the parts where they cut or untangle the seal, but I'm quite sure a lot of them would be more severely injured that would require that most likely. And I'm thinking like if it's amazing if Dr. Marty has pioneered that, how it's influenced us all the way down in the thousands of Africa. It's actually quite an amazing thing.
Yeah, I mean, and that's part of the thing, right? Is that like, everybody's always improving, and getting better at these types of things, and that's the whole idea, is that we're never as good as, and even where we're at right now, even though it's miles ahead of where maybe rescue and rehab was, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, it's not good enough. So everybody's always trying to improve and do things better. And I think that should be like the main focus of not even just this industry, but it should be the main focus of just about anything. Honestly, if you're not trying to get
Yes,
better, what are you even doing?
that is very true. All right, but thank you for that answer and getting as me asking the question off the bat immediately wanted to know. But now let's get into the questions from our producer Reiha, who you guys have submitted, and get started with the proper show. So let's get started. Ray, if you've got questions on your side.
Yeah, so our first question this morning is actually going to be about when there is a distressed or injured animal, how do rescuers
Yes, welcome in.
actually
Mm.
locate them?
Oh yeah. So usually, the public is heavily involved in this type of thing because as rescuers, we're so few people. Nobody's just you know, sort of scouring the beaches 24/7 to try to find these animals. We rely heavily on the public being out and finding animals and reporting them to the proper people. And this is where you always want to make sure, though, that uh, you don't assume necessarily that an animal is in need of rescue. You just
Oh
get a hold of the
yes.
proper people. It's the same as like I wouldn't go and um, try to defend somebody in a court of law because I know absolutely nothing about it. So same thing sort of applies here. Like, even though an animal might appear to be in need of rescue, a lot of times these seals are left alone for periods of time from their mothers, and their moms will be coming back. And if you interfere with that, then it's just, then they will have to be rescued because they've been interfered with, and then it's just like it's a financial and a physical strain on these facilities when it could have been raised by its mother. So that's important to remember. But usually people are finding them and then they're reporting them either to your local government agency, who will then get a hold of the appropriate facility, or a lot of these facilities have direct lines that you can call them. So here in Vancouver, it's 604-258, and then the letters SEAL, which I think is right down the middle.
Yes.
I'm sure one of my lovely members of my chat could type that in. They usually know better than me what the actual numbers are for SEAL, but yeah, it's different no matter where you are. But usually a quick Google search will let you have that information. We always recommend then that we'd love it if, I know lots of people have things to do, but if you do find an injured or sick animal, it's awesome if you can stay and just watch from a distance, either, making sure that nobody else bothers the animal, no animals bother the animal, but also to keep an eye on it. So that when the rescuers do get there, they know where it's at. Because yeah, that can be a problem, is losing an animal in between the time when it's sort of discovered and when it can actually be rescued. So yeah, but it's like probably like 99% just the public finding these animals, and sometimes it takes a little time with the entangled sea lions where we were talking. A lot of times somebody will see one, and then you see that same animal in different places, and you start getting more and more reports, putting some more information together, kind of getting an idea of where that animal might be. Like, oh hey, it's been hanging out on this pier for the last 3 days, odds are it'll probably be there today, maybe we'll go try to rescue that animal. Um, so yeah, but yes, definitely heavily involved with the public in that way, which I think is really great. It lets people get involved and feel like they're making a difference.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
is the most
Niche.
important answer that you've given, I feel, of like who you need to call and what you need to do. Would it be correct to say that even right now, given the current state of the environment, that Mothers, seals, otters, or that are actually leaving their kids alone or babies alone for a lot longer to find food. So it's very important. So you mentioned that in your video. I remember how they actually wait 24 hours before they actually think
Yeah.
we need to rescue an animal.
Yeah, a lot of times what will happen is when you do end up calling a facility, they will then be like, okay, how long have you observed the animal? And if you're like, listen, this is my backyard, this animal's been here for 3 days, and I have never seen a mother, well, then it might be an immediate situation where they come out to rescue. But if you're like, oh, I don't know, I just saw it last, the last hour or so, they're definitely going to recommend just like watching and waiting, because you do have a period of time before, especially with a seal, you have usually a little bit of time before the animal is going to be in any kind of distress without mom. Mom will leave for
Yes.
periods of time to go find food. Um, and so they don't want to, you want to be absolutely sure that you're not just like kidnapping an animal from the ocean,
Absolutely.
and you are actually rescuing the animal. So yeah, and not to mention, like, a lot of these facilities are not, people would often be surprised when I would tell them that our rescue center does not get government funding. The government's not helping with this. This is, this is
Yes.
an effort that the facility is taking on because they think that it's important. And that the cost of rehabilitating these animals is great, especially when you're talking about sea otters. And so it is important to make sure that the animals need rescue, and we're not putting undue stress on these types of facilities, who could be, saving their money for animals that really do need to be rescued.
Yeah, absolutely. And a very quick tip because that's something that's you actually mentioned is important for those that seal part where they don't know what the number is. Just look at the letter on your keypad. So if it's AB, you'll type that number twice, basically. So just look at your keypad. It's the letters related to the keypad on your phone. I'm saying that because there's surprising a large amounts of people that may not know that. So for that phone number. But thank you for that info.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next question.
Our next question is, could you take us through the process or steps taken by staff when a call is received about a distressed or injured animal?
Yeah, so basically the call will be received in a lot of places it's a 24/7 hotline. So somebody has a phone for the Marine Mammal Rescue Center here in Vancouver 24/7, so you can reach them at any point in time. And these are usually trained professionals, and they'll have sort of an idea of what they're listening to. Like I said, if the person is like, hey, this animal's been here for 3 days, or this animal's extremely injured, has a good idea, is describing what they're seeing, then they may step right into action. One of the things that has to happen is you do have to get permission to rescue an animal. Marine mammals are protected by the Marine Mammal Protection Act, and so it's illegal to touch them. This is another reason why just like people on the just on the beach shouldn't be harassing these animals, because it is actually illegal, and you can get legal action filed against you because of it. Facilities have special permissions for that kind of stuff, but they still do need to like confer with the with the proper authorities for what they need to do. And then they'll kind of make a decision about whether or not that animal needs to be rescued immediately, if if there's a team available, those types of things, and what they have to do. Sometimes you're really having to like potentially like get a plane. I mean, sometimes there are float planes that they have to get in order to reach these certain areas, or by boat. Maybe they need to be rescued. It's not usually just on like a really nice, easily accessible by road beach that animals get stranded.
Yeah.
That's not. They're not thinking about us when they need help. So yeah, there's lots of logistical things that need to take place. And then making sure you've got the proper crew, whoever you need with you, whether you need a vet tech, and you probably need some volunteers, and depending on the type of animal you might even need a doctor, depending on what, or a veterinarian, depending on what, like if the animal is severely injured or what's going on with it, right? Sometimes you need like a lot if they have to rescue adult animals that may require some more manpower. So sometimes they'll call us trainers and be like, listen, we've got an adult male stellar sea lion that is severely injured that we need to rescue. We're going to need all the hands that we can get, that sort of thing. And then you potentially go out to the place and then you try to find the animal. Sometimes they can't find them. Sometimes they put forward all this effort and they're not unable to find these animals, which is why it's really nice if you can to stick around and let them know where you last saw these animals. Yeah, and then a lot more goes into play once you have the animal. You've got to get them back. You've got to make sure that they're stable along the way and kept nice and cool or nice and warm, depending on what they need. So there's so much involved and so many things that are thought of that go into this process, and that's why it's such a specialized thing. And you can't just pick up a harbor seal and nurse it back to health in your bathtub, because it's
Oh gosh, yes.
there's a lot, and people try. I've seen it, so it's like, so yeah, so there's a lot that goes into play, and then hopefully you make it back with that animal and can get it on its way to rehab and hopefully eventually release.
And isn't it also that danger that as much as handling an animal with your hands, can we not give it a disease and they give us a disease? Is that a huge possibility? If you just walk in there and just grab a seal, like let's save the seal. So yeah,
no, absolutely. So seals and sea lions have a very particular bacteria in their mouths, and it is very possible to get a serious infection from being bit by these animals. Even if it was just an accidental tooth graze of the skin, you can really get a very nasty infection. It's something called seal finger. If you're not squeamish, you can Google that. I'll not be Googling it on this program, but basically, it is a bacterial infection of the, from the mouths of these animals, and it is not treatable by just basic antibiotics. So if you went to a doctor and you're like, hey, I just have this cut, it looks like it's getting a little infected, they'll give you an antibiotic and it's not going to help you, because you need something very specific for this type of thing. So essentially what will happen is you have to get it's a 6-week antibiotic course. It's a real pain in the butt. And if you don't do that, then you could potentially lose your limb. You can potentially lose your life to this infection. Yeah, it is so bad. So even, at work, we have a special note that has to happen. Even if if I'm just doing a dental exam and I accidentally just clip my own finger on a tooth, I have to go to the doctor immediately to get, this specific antibiotic. I have to take my special note with me that says, don't give me normal antibiotics. I need the real stuff. So touching these animals in the wild is a very, very, very bad idea.
My gosh. Very quick question from the chat here, which might cover question AMS, is how long does it take the government to actually approve when you're going to rescue an animal? I think, in terms of rescuing an animal and okay, this animal is in the facility, how long does that process actually take?
Yeah, so it really sort of depends. It depends largely on the animal. So for animals like harbor seals, where the Marine Mammal Rescue Center here is rescuing those animals on an extremely regular basis, I believe the government has in place simply an all-encompassing you may go rescue harbor seals, because it happens so often that they don't want to have their phone ringing off the hook,
Yes.
24/7 with MMR calling about harbor seals. They trust that MMR knows when a harbor seal needs to be rescued, and it has the proper facility to take care of that, because MMR has proven that throughout the years. It becomes a little bit trickier when you talk about some of the higher profile animals. So animals like the the sea lions that are entangled. They usually get special permission on trips to go do these types of rescues, and oftentimes they actually use the government boats, and the government will actually send some people to come and
Oh,
help
wow.
for these types of, because they are big deals, and they're a little bit bigger of a deal than just simply going out and scooping up a helpless baby harbor seal. These
Yes.
things take a little bit more planning. Um, or like even higher profile, things like whale and dolphin rescues. So there's a lot of issues surrounding that, because the government will know pretty much immediately that an animal, like especially if it was a young, say, porpoise calf, is not going to be a releasable animal, and so they weigh that into their decision, because some people will be very loud and vocal about the fact that they think the animal would. I disagree with this opinion, but this is some people's opinion. They're welcome to it, but that the animals would be better off to essentially pass away or be euthanized rather than to live out a life in a facility. So those are things that the government agency has to take into consideration, because they're the ones who might potentially face the backlash for making those decisions about whether or not an animal can be rescued or not.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so yeah, so it really sort of depends on the red tape, surrounding the animal. But usually, very basic rescues is very easy to get permission to do those types of things.
Okay. Well, we can move on to a question with Raya while I'll watch these seals swim around in circles. But yeah, Raya, off to the next question.
Yep. Our next question is, what are some of the major differences in interaction and handling of releasable animals versus non-releasable animals?
Yeah, so I mean, you see this a lot with the like sea otters versus the harbor seals, for instance. Baby harbor seals, or sorry, baby sea otters are pretty much non-releasable animals. Unless they happen to be like around that 6-month age, that's really pretty cut and dry. So those animals are in closer contact with humans, and there's not as much care taken to, sort of distance ourselves. We do still like to try to teach appropriate behaviors, like it's not okay to chew on me, those sorts of like pretty basic things. But that animal having an association and a relationship with humans, if we know they're going to stay under human care long term, is not as big a deal. But for animals like harbor seals, or any animal that an adult animal that you think you're going to release, there's less sort of like, and even with the harbor seals, as they get older, there's less sort of like hand feeding and more just like throwing fish into the pool and like best of luck to you, and that makes like it makes it so that it's less of an association with humans are good and bringing good things, and more just like, oh, it's feeding time, fish is falling from the sky, sort of a situation. So yeah, there's a lot of considerations that go into that, and even then there's still like things that can go wrong. I mean, even with, I was recently watching a video from Monterey Bay around there, and there was a clearly rescued, released sea otter that was just chilling on these people's kayak
Oh,
out in the middle of the
yes.
bay, which is like really not optimal. So sometimes it can happen, and everybody does their best, and but if that does happen and that becomes a serious issue, the government can absolutely say, you need to go back out and find this animal and pick them up, because they're causing problems, they're a
Yes.
nuisance, and they are not, no longer releasable. So those are the kind of consequences that can happen if you don't take the proper precautions and making sure you're not, acclimating these guys to human presence, essentially.
Yes. And I think that happened with the one otter in Monterey Bay who's still there, that they had to go collect it, and now it's living the rest of its days in comfort and lifestyle. I forget which one. I don't know if it was the older one or kids or
Yeah.
one of those had to get rescued. or
You know,
brought
it can
back.
even.
Was it? I want to say it was Rosa. I
I
think her
also want
name
to say it
was.
was Rosa. I don't
She
know
was
You
why.
must be right.
released. She was released and brought back because she suffered an attack from a shark.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, and it can
but she
also
wasn't.
happen with animals that
She
are
wasn't
not
surviving well.
even that have not even been rehabilitated. There's lots of California sea lions under human care in zoos and aquariums across North America who came from I forget the specific name of the dam, but there was a dam essentially where a lot of salmon were accumulating, and I think it was here on the yeah, it was somewhere on the west coast, and essentially they had to uh, full scale like round up these sea lions because they had become such a nuisance and so like acclimated because people were there fishing and stuff like that, so they would come over and like try to steal their fish and stuff like that. So those animals live under human care now. It is getting having relationships with wild animals is usually not beneficial for any party.
Yes. Yeah. There we go. Next question.
Our next question is, what are some of the challenges when a much older animal that has been living on its own in the wild is rescued and then deemed non-releasable and must be introduced to other animals currently at the aquarium?
Yeah, I mean, I I think these animals are usually highly adaptable. I don't in my experience with these types of situations, and there's been a couple. I haven't really seen that the animal the animal seems to be actually more grateful is maybe not the word that I should use, but I mean they've lived a life, like they've lived a life that is not easy. I mean, we often think of, I think the Little Mermaid sort of like skewed our view of the ocean a little bit, but it's not like it's not super fun and like carefree out there. Like there's a lot going on,
It's
and
dangerous.
in order to survive, it's very dangerous. It's very hard to survive out in the ocean. And so all of the animals that I've had that that were rescued as adults really seem to just be like, man, sweet. Like the fish is unlimited here,
Yeah.
and it's so yeah, and those have all been like relatively older animals too. I affectionately call it like with Walter the sea
Mm.
otter, or even Senor Cinco. I refer to the aquarium as like sort of their retirement home. They're
Retirement
sort
home.
of
Yes.
so they get everything that they want. They don't really seem to much mind that their swimming is a little bit more limited and things like that. I mean, they have access to everything that they want, and they very quickly figure out that it's very, very safe here. There's no predators. And that must be nice to know. So there can be some interesting things when you're training an animal, because then they do have to get more used to your presence,
Mm.
because that's not something that they would normally really enjoy. But with these animals, I find a lot that their learning curve is very steep. They are very capable of learning extremely quickly because that is what they've been doing for their whole lives. The animals that survive out in the ocean are the ones that can adapt and make changes to make sure that they survive. So they are very willing to learn new behaviors in exchange for food. They're extremely food motivated because probably a lot of their lives they've been some stage of hungry. Animals that live in zoos and aquariums have zero idea what the
Yes.
actual hunger feels like,
The real hunger.
because
Yes.
yeah, and just the same as like I don't personally have any idea what actual hunger feels like. Of course,
Absolutely.
like
Yeah.
I've been hangry every once in a while when it's been like 6 hours since I've had a snack, but that's not the same thing as legitimate hunger. And so yeah, so I think that um it's easier than people think. I actually find that these animals that have spent the vast majority of their time out in the ocean tend to be very quick learners and very easy pupils.
Yes, for the food motivation as well. And I think we spoke about
Mhm.
that last time about, I didn't really phrase it correctly about animals in the wild being more intelligent, but they are obviously more savvy to, oh, this actually works better for me. This can actually make me survive more versus us releasing a domesticated, not domesticated, a I hate using the word captivity because it's such a buzzword lately. An
It is,
otter,
but
yeah, but
a lot of
it's
these
a real
things are
word.
just
Yeah,
it's just
but
words. They're
but
just words. They
if we
don't
had,
mean anything.
but as it is, yeah, it's just words. We only, you put power to words if you wish. But like an otter in captivity, if they get put in the wild, it wouldn't survive specifically because a wild animal knows how to survive and knows I need to take advantage of this opportunity. It almost
Yeah.
feels like that. It's like they have
Yeah,
street
I mean,
cred,
exactly. No, they've got that
street
street
smarts.
savoir faire.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they know what to do because learning and being being quick on your feet and quick with your thoughts and and all of
Mm.
that stuff and easily adaptable, those are all things that are necessary to survive out in the world, and not so much under human care. So the animals that we raise they're not less intelligent, they're
Yeah.
just more spoiled, you know?
Yes.
They're just far more used to not having to do anything to
They
get
know that something's going to
what
happen
they
in a
need.
couple of minutes. Like, in a couple of minutes,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be that hangry anymore.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to be fed.
So,
Okay, Ray, next question.
Our next question is, what happens when an animal that you go to rescue is actually too sick or too injured to be transported to a facility for care?
oh yeah, I mean this can happen, and this isn't this is maybe not the most fun topic, but there are animals that can not be saved, or that shouldn't be saved, and that sounds really bad. But if you go out to an animal and let's just say like it has a huge bite taken out of the side of it from a shark, and you just know that there's no way that animal can survive, but that animal's alive and suffering. And so there are instances where those animals will just be euthanized at the scene, and that is the best thing that we can do for them in that time. And even though we would love to save everything, sometimes the best that we can do is to help the animal ease their suffering, and because, like, I don't know if people understand, like, these things are happening all the time, and not even just like sharks. Like sharks got to eat. Like, I'm not trying to villainize sharks. I'm just like throwing out an
Absolutely.
example, but like or getting hit by boats, and things like that,
Mm.
and these animals they're not usually found. And so, like for instance, Senor Cinco, he's very, very fortunate that he was found. He was found starving to death on a beach because he'd been shot and he was blind and he hadn't been able to find food. And I don't know if you like to starve a sea lion to death. They have a lot of blubber. We were seeing, earlier, if you've seen any of these guys, like they have a huge amount of fat layer, and that takes months, guys. It takes months. So that's the unfortunate reality of living out in the ocean and not having, human care, is that those types of animals will go on suffering for a very, very long time. And so sometimes if we get there, like that's, and that's all that can happen, even though that might feel sad. Honestly, that animal is a lucky animal to have their suffering eased,
Yes.
when it could have honestly gone on for a very, very long time. And then, I mean, I don't want to get too graphic, but like there's scavengers and things, that there's all kinds of like horrible things that can happen
That's
to
yeah.
animals when they're near the end of their lives. And so to give that piece to the animal is part of the job, and it is an important part of the job too.
And that's the topic what I mentioned at the beginning. Some topics might be a bit dark, but they're necessary and informative and important to know. It's not just we can't transport this animal, so we're just going to put it down here. There's always a reason. And do you let when that actually happens? Do you leave the animal in the location to let nature take its course, or is there some form of what I'd say
Yeah, usually the
relocation?
animal will be taken in for some type of necropsy, because sometimes we don't actually know what happened,
What
or it's
happened?
important to know. It's important to know maybe there's a infectious disease that's spreading around that would be really good for us to know.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe we want to pursue legal action if we find this is a human caused injury. So the necropsy is important. Also, if you've had to euthanize the animal is full of unnatural drugs and things like that you really don't want
You
to
don't want
be
to leave, yes.
subjecting. Yeah, leaving on a beach, subjecting to scavengers and stuff like that. So yeah, usually the animal will still be collected no matter what.
Yeah, that's that's also important to know. It's and I think it also that animals now sacrifice, if you can call it that, has not been in vain. If anything, you've learned something of the animal. I feel, and
Yeah,
possibly prevented an
that's
outbreak.
hopefully, kind of coming full circle to what we were talking
Yes.
about earlier on. Like, learning and getting better at what we do is very, very important in this field, and so that should be always one of the goals when you're going out and doing these types of
Yeah.
things.
I'm never going to roll back to this question later about something else, but that has been the end of part one. So if you've made it this far, congratulations. I hope you're enjoying it so far. Obviously, we're doing these little part one and part two for this little project we're still working on, but this has been the end of part one. So we'll cross over to part two, where Ray will ask us a new question. So, Raya, welcome to part two. Welcome everyone to part two. Can you hit us with the question? We're talking about animal rehabilitation for those that have actually just joined us, and rescuing and the processes that get involved with it. And it's been very informative so far. But Raya, what next question do you have for us?
So our next part, it's going to be more specialized questions, and our first question is, are there any animals that cannot be released after rescue because of their species specifically?
Oh, because of
Wow.
their species. So it could be that an animal is somewhere where it shouldn't be. Um, and like, for instance, we have a sea turtle. I think she's a loggerhead at the aquarium, who is a permanent resident. And I think she was actually one of the very first sea turtles that the Marine Mammal Rescue rescued, if not the first sea turtle. Now, we don't see sea turtles that often. If a sea turtle winds up off the coast of Vancouver, it is lost. And so what we do now is we, rehabilitate that animal, and then we have to wait for permitting to come in order to move that animal back to where it came from, because we cannot release it off the coast of Vancouver because it's not a native species and it's not likely to survive off of our coast. That's why it ended up needing rescue in the first place. So those animals, sometimes they're at the aquarium for months because they're waiting for the permitting process to allow them to be moved, especially because we've got border issues that can actually take a lot of time. And so in the case of Skuna, who is our sea turtle at the Vancouver Aquarium, who is our permanent resident, those permits were never able to be acquired, essentially. And so she lives with us now because of that, because it would be very irresponsible and cruel to release her off of our coast. Because she just wouldn't survive, and the permitting and all the
Oh
technology
wow.
and all that stuff to transport her was not available at the time. But that's another example of things getting better. We've had several sea turtles since then, and those animals have all been moved down, usually to SeaWorld in California, where they finish up the rehab there and are then able to release those animals, because it's much warmer water down there. So that's like off the top of my head. That's what I'm kind of thinking here. I mean, there are animals that if they are too young, they are not going to be releasable. So animals like cetaceans, which are whales, dolphins, and porpoises. If you have a neonate, which is like just a newborn of those animals that spent very little time learning from mom, these guys are very social and very, there's a lot they need to learn from their mothers. And so those animals would be non-releasable, not necessarily because of their species, but because of their species and their age. And sea otters as well, obviously, like you guys know. Sea otters, if they are young, they still have so much that they needed to learn from their mothers, and it's just not feasible to release those animals. So I can't think off the top of my head if there's an animal that's like literally this is just you as a species, like you're done. Like, I don't, unless it's like maybe you rescued an animal that's an invasive species.
Oh yes,
That
yeah.
it would be, not a good idea to release, an invasive species back out into the wild. But yeah, off the top of my head, that's all I can think of for when that might be the case.
Okay, it's a lot more complicated than we think. That it's just catch the animal, rehabilitate it, done. There's a lot to consider. But
Yeah,
Ray,
yeah, there's a lot going on.
Ray, next question from the Wigglers.
Our next question, as previously mentioned, the aquarium no longer has any dolphins or whales under the facility's care. And because of that, you had mentioned that that specialized experience in caring for them would gradually be lost over time. How does that affect any future animal, like a whale or a dolphin, that might end up at the aquarium after being rescued?
So this affects things in a few ways, and I'm gonna kind of mold your question here a little bit because I think yeah, I need to be more specific about this. So, as it stands right now, I still think if there was a whale or a dolphin off of our coast, that the aquarium would still be called to help, because we do have that expertise. But as our last dolphin just left a month ago, or I think it was just a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, that experience starts to wither away. So, like we were talking earlier with the harbor seals, the Vancouver Aquarium rescues so many harbor seals all the time that expertise is not in question. It will never be in question. That the government agency has basically given us free reign to rescue and rehabilitate those animals because they know that we know what we're doing. But if we don't have, like, say the next cetacean rescue is 10 years from now, or 5 years from now, what happens then? Like, would we be called to do that? Like, the government could very easily say, listen, we're just going to euthanize this animal because we don't believe that there's like, if this is a non-releasable animal, there's not really anywhere that it can be housed, and B, you guys haven't done this in so long, we don't even know that you know what to do or how to do it. So those are the sort of risks involved. It's sort of like if you look over in like the UK, for instance, in a lot of places in Europe, they don't have cetaceans anymore, and they also don't rescue cetaceans,
Oh wow.
because they just don't know how. Um, so that is the unfortunate reality of what probably the future is, here. There was a time when we would be called on just about anything. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a beluga calf that was stranded in the St. Lawrence River, like halfway across Canada, and there was nobody else in Canada that could go to that rescue because we're the only ones who've been running a marine mammal rescue program. So it's yeah, the unfortunate reality is that in the future, the rescue will not really be considered an option. It will just be, unfortunately, this animal needs to be euthanized, humanely euthanized, because we don't know what to do with it.
And I think that's the very important topic of when our deals start to replace education or information, where there are so many people so strong that citations shouldn't be in an aquarium because of what happened 20 years ago, without actually knowing that it's actually going to cause more harm to those animals that would have most likely been cared for and most likely been released and continued their sort of added value to their little pod
I mean,
Because yeah,
and
that's a scary
obviously
thing to
this is,
see.
I don't want to get too far off topic,
Yeah,
but
of
I'm of
course.
the mind that, animals under human care live very fulfilling, wonderful lives. And that's my opinion. It's not everybody's opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so it's hopefully good zoos, good aquariums, good rescue
Yes.
facilities are going to continue to do good, because they know that it's the right thing to do, and that's gonna help change opinions, hopefully. And
Obviously.
hopefully, people will be louder. We'll have like because it's really just the very loud minority that are voicing these kinds of sort of warped opinions.
The loudest voice gets
When
heard. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's always.
when the rest of us are just like quietly having like cute little AMAs on Twitch, and maybe if we're louder, when these types of issues come up, then we can sort of
Yeah.
silence
But
some of
as it
the
always,
negativity.
drama and hot words and hot takes get the most attention, and they definitely draw the
Yes.
most. But we,
Yes.
as mentioned, and to clear with KP, we're talking about good facilities. No matter what organization in the world, there is always going to be a bad side to every single thing. But in the majority, we're talking about the good facilities that are in majority that actually want to take care of these animals. And yeah, as you said earlier, unlimited fish. I've got unlimited fish here. But yeah,
Right.
okay. Got a very quick question here. Do you know how Van Aqua got the penguins? Was that part of a rescue? I know you've mentioned this before, actually, in another AMA.
No, so the penguins that we have were born at a facility. They were born at the New England Aquarium. And so essentially, the aquarium was sort of deciding, they were making a real big push for this sort of ocean-wise seafood idea of, almost copying Seafood Watch that Monterey Bay kind of coined, except for this is like the Canadian version. And so that ocean-wise program, they really wanted like kind of a flagship species for that. And because African penguins are critically endangered due to overfishing,
Yes.
primarily, that was deemed a good species to sort of have that platform be heard. So they came from the New England Aquarium. It was supposed to be like a 2-year temporary loan, and the rest is history. They've been there for 10 years. So
Oh, wow. And yes, thank
yeah.
you for that question, because obviously the penguins have a special place in my heart too. Okay, moving on to the next question.
Our next question is immediate care and housing provided by local agencies until the animal can be transferred to an agency or aquarium or care facility?
So, like, is there funding available? Is that the type of question?
I think it's more of if an animal's rescued and the nearest facility that can actually care and treat them, like, are they ever held in a area
Ah.
provided by local agencies first before being moved?
Well, there wouldn't really be, like, if there's not a rescue facility within the general vicinity, unfortunately, the animal's just not going to be rescued. Because you can't really, like, I mean, I guess maybe it would slightly depend on the type of animal, but like, you're not going to, I don't know, say there was an animal, um, a sea otter up in like Washington, the Monterey Bay Aquarium is not going to go rescue that animal. Now there just happens to be other places that would rescue it in Washington, but I'm just kind of giving you like a type of example. So, this isn't like a world, like we don't have jurisdiction over the world as to where you would go to get those animals. And the unfortunate reality too is that sometimes it it depends on the animal, like, because maybe I'm causing some confusion because I just said that like halfway across Canada, the Vancouver Aquarium was involved in the rescue of a beluga whale calf, um, and that is confusing. But that's a beluga whale calf. People care about that, and like that sounds really really rough to say, but like not as many people care about harbor seals. Not even as many people care about sea otters as they do beluga calves. Although sea otters is a good example. Again, baby sea otter, like probably every single resource available is going to be used to try to rescue that animal because it's just so darn cute. Cuteness has a
Yes.
huge, like, unfortunate role in whether or not an animal is going to be rescued. Because, like, think how many times have you been like, oh, they rescued a shark off the coast? No,
Yeah,
never gonna happen.
a sea
Never
otter
gonna
like,
happen.
well, look, prime example is the stream. It's like there's been seal streams, there've been streams before. You put up a sea otter stream, and
Yep.
exploded. It was
Yep.
amazing.
Yeah. So yeah. So a little bit of that is going to depend on the type of animal, which is unfortunate because all animals should really matter. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, so much of it is. I talk about this in my not my latest YouTube video, but one of my recent YouTube videos about rescue and rehab is that the government is focused on the species as a whole, but the public is focused on individual animal welfare. And so, like, the bleeding hearts of the public seeing cute animals suffering is not an option, and it's not an option for the government to leave it that way either because of the public outcry for that type of thing. Whereas there might be some very serious things going on off the coast that could really use people's attention and help, but nobody really cares about red tides or I mean, like, these types of
Yes.
things. So yeah, it's an interesting conundrum. But essentially, like, well, if an animal is in a very remote location, it is very unlikely that they will be discovered at all for rescue. And even if they are, it is not super likely, unless it's a high-profile animal, that animal will be deemed an appropriate use of funding and time and effort to go rescue if the facility is not very near it. We rescue a lot of animals on Vancouver Island and stuff like that because it's all very near us, but there's very few, if any, rescues that take place in, like, northern BC and different places like that. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the unfortunate reality and the sort of subjectivity that goes along with this field.
Okay. Right. Next question there, Rhea.
All right. Our next question is, are there any types of animals that are more challenging for rescue and rehabilitation?
Any types of animals. I mean, this kind of ties into, a question I'm getting here in chat. There are definitely animals that are more challenging for rehab. Adult animals are extremely challenging because they are going to require very large or much larger areas than, say, baby animals. They are also stronger. So the areas that they can be contained in. I mean, think of, like, trying to rescue an animal like a kunik, like an adult female sea otter, who can dismantle things in the blink of an eye. That animal is so much more challenging to house at a facility for any period of time than, say, a baby sea otter who, if you just plop him on his back, he actually can't roll over, and he's pretty much stuck there for a couple of hours until you come back and get him. Like, that's very, those are very challenging things. And somebody was asking about how come polar bears aren't rescued that often. Well, there you go. A, it's a very remote location. B, it's a polar bear. So if an adult, like, how would you even, the facility that you would have to have in order to rescue and rehabilitate an adult polar bear would be insane. Now, polar bear cubs do get rescued at times. That can happen, and it's definitely more common. But yeah, so there are extreme challenges with rescuing and rehabilitating any adult animal, and even animals like cetaceans, like we talked about, whales, dolphins, porpoises. They have a lot of limitations, and there's a lot of things to be considered. Like a lot of times when we rescue these animals, especially if they're young, they are so weak that they cannot swim. So we have somebody in the water 24/7 with them. 24/7, who is holding them up, because just like with humans, if they sink to the bottom, they can't breathe water. They have to breathe air. So I've personally had to walk around with with cetaceans for hours at a time during different shifts. That can happen. So yeah, there's lots of animals that are simply, unfortunately, due to the limitations of money and facilities, that are just too difficult to rehabilitate for a lot of places.
And that's one of those things you mentioned. It's a tough thing to hear, but it's important to hear because not everything is possible. It's just sad. Um, if I can interject with a question, are most animals in like Reiha rehabilitated because of human intervention in some form, negative way, more than it's, take example, like you mentioned, being bitten by a shark or that? Have you found it that you found a lot more animals rescued because something a human did?
Yes, this is a great question because that's also something that is taken into consideration when an animal is to be rescued. Like if you see a seal being eaten by a killer whale off of our coast, nobody's going to come to rescue that animal. The killer whales need to
Yeah.
eat. That's not an appropriate rescue situation. The animals are far more likely to be rescued, or to be, for the government to recommend to be rescued if if there was some sort of human problem. If humans have caused the issue, hit by boat, shot by humans, uh, caught in fishing nets, entangled in gear, those animals are very likely to be like a strong attempt made to rescue those animals, because they were put in that situation because of human interference in the first part. And there is a strong belief that it is our duty, our responsibility, to reverse the damage that humans have already done. So
Absolutely, yeah, that's a big thing. Well, that's as you can see, it's thanks humans. Moving on to the next question, there, Raya.
Our next question is going into the public side of rescue and rehabilitation, and what can the public do to help with rehabilitation efforts?
Um, yeah. So, I mean, like we talked about, keeping your eyes open if you're just hanging out and around, like looking out for situations that look like they might need some human interference. Making sure that if you do find yourself in that type of situation where you are making a phone call and you are trying to help, that you are also keeping your distance, understanding the rules and regulations and why they're in place. And if you can, if you have the ability to, sticking around and making sure that you keep an eye on that animal, but that you also keep other people away from the animal, and telling people exactly why that's so important, and that somebody's on their way and that they're going to help. um as far as once it gets past that point, a lot of these rescue facilities rely heavily on volunteers. Volunteering is one of the best things that you can do, you guys. Like, volunteering your time is so, so, so valuable. Some
Mm.
facilities really need monetary help. Some facilities are not completely supported by for-profit organizations. Some are non-profit, and those facilities may need your monetary support, if that's all that, if that's not all,
Yes.
but if that's what you can offer, then that's really helpful. Even just awareness, spreading news, sharing information. If they have awesome causes, we're going to be supporting a charity this week. So those types of things, even if people who cannot donate to the charity that we're going to be supporting on Saturday, that is okay, because not everybody is in a position to do that. But just by sharing that information, like, hey, I've got a friend and they're running this charity for this awesome organization that I really support. Like, if you're interested, go check it out. Like, sharing information, and sharing content like that is super valuable in this day and age of computers and technology. So that type of like spreading awareness is very, very useful, not to be underestimated by any means.
And I think that's all what we're trying to do here anyway. Is this exact type of thing is the best we can do, besides monetary, is to get awareness. And I believe previously, obviously things happened last year, but MMRC had a lot of volunteers, and I think that's a better structured way to help the animals, where you're getting almost involved under supervision.
No, absolutely. I mean, and it also helps you to learn more,
Yes.
and to be able, like, to just be better equipped to help and to spread, really awesome awareness and that type of stuff. So yeah, I mean, like, it's always very valuable to be able to volunteer your time if that's the kind of help that you can offer. That is super valuable. I
Absolutely.
think it's also really good, like, for people's characters too, especially like for kids and stuff like that. I love to see kids volunteering because I
Oh
think that
yes, to grow up with that sort
molds
of
them
mindset.
into, yeah, it molds them into really, I think, productive and empathetic, sort of
Absolutely.
adults.
Um, so we have a few more questions left from Ray's side, but I will ask this question on our side. I know we covered it just now with the otters, but maybe specifically towards the facility, have any of the rescued and released seals been returned due to injury or lack of self-care?
Oh, that's a good question, and I'm gonna go ahead and just this one, I don't know. I haven't, off the top of my head, I can't think of a situation where that has happened, but I can't say for certain that it hasn't. The harbor seals are affixed with tags, usually like little flipper tags, so that they can be identified as harbor seals that we've rehabilitated, so that can be rectified.
Mm.
One of my, one of the volunteers is telling me that they think that there was one that happened a couple years ago. It's a very rare occurrence. Harbor seals tend to be very, very shy and not like super interested in interacting with people as a general rule. Um, so yeah, I can't 100% say for sure, but I can tell you it's a very rare occurrence if it does happen.
Okay, let's move on to the next question there, Raya. Thank you for that answer, KP.
Yep, these are our last two questions. This question is, in the wild, is the interaction between male and female sea otters limited?
Yeah, so sea otters, male sea otters tend to be relatively solitary animals, adult male sea otters, I should say. There are usually, if you see groups of sea otters, what you're looking at are either juvenile males or groups of females and pups. The adult males tend to kind of like run these sort of territories, and then any females in their territory are basically fair game. So yeah, it is not super common for adult male wild sea otters to spend a lot of time like positively interacting with each other. There can be fights and stuff like that, but it's a definitely male sea otters tend to kind of do their own thing. And even honestly, like pretty much any adult sea otter, like I've seen sea otters in the wild multiple times, and they're usually just doing their own thing off by themselves. We're really lucky that we get to see some really cute and amazing interactions, but it is an artificial situation at the Vancouver Aquarium or even here at the Monterey Bay aquarium, because the animals are living in closer proximity than usual. They're also animals that are raised from pups and are not, like, I don't want to say not normal, but like, in a sense it's kind of like when you have a dog. Like, you get a dog as a puppy, and the dog never has to grow up. In some way, that dog always gets to be a puppy, right? It never has to have responsibilities. It never has to learn to fend for itself. And in a lot of ways, our sea otters are kind of like that. They always get to be kids. There's never been a time where they needed to make adult otter decisions, or anything like that, and they just get to play and eat and nap all day, and not have to worry about when their next meal is coming along. So, our, sea otters at aquariums get to be puppies forever.
Well, that's actually a very good point. Is that not basically the same of what we're experiencing with the otters, and that they get to be their playful otterish selves for the rest of their lives?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. So it's important to note that, like, the behavior that you see at a zoo and aquarium, where hopefully you do see a lot of natural behaviors, there are some animals that are there from unnatural situations, and all of our sea otters have been raised by humans and are not necessarily representative of wild sea otter behavior all the time.
Okay, well, thank you for that answer. Yeah, Ray, you got that last question for us, and then I got one more chat question. If you want to ask it, please.
Actually, that was already kind of covered together with KP's response. So go ahead with your chat question,
Well,
and that's gonna be all. We'll actually finish on a good time again.
yes, again. I love it when KP does that. You see, KP is so informative that sometimes
Look
covers
at
all the
that.
questions on the ball, and it's awesome. Now I
Yeah.
just need to quickly
Next time
find.
we'll try where I just don't even,
Yes.
you guys don't even ask questions, and I just see if I can just hit all the answers before we even ask questions.
Yeah, like I'm going to be asking all these questions now, and I'll be answering everything at once. So I think the last question is a slightly different term, but it has to do with the same thing. And maybe you might know what working with raptors. What about birds? In terms of when they need rescuing. Now I'm trying to find this question here. Because I know I've been in that where I've saved a couple of birds. I even ended up having to keep one. And that was the facility that told me, you need to keep this bird. 12 years later.
Weird.
Yeah, they actually told me, no, we can't do anything about it. You're either going to keep it or you're going to put it back into the wild. We have
Right.
no. So I ended up keeping it. It ended up being a pet for 12 years.
Well,
Yeah,
there you
and it was
go.
a very, very tame pet. It was very loud in the morning and communicated with every other bird of its species at 5 a.m., but that's another story.
Oh no.
Yeah, so do you know what to do with birds? I've seen many times with baby birds on the ground, and it doesn't look like there's a mechanism to help them. Do you have any information in regards to that?
Yeah, so there's a common misconception that if you touch a baby bird, the mother will smell you on the baby bird and will abandon the bird. And that is 100% not true. So if you see, like, a baby bird on the ground, for instance, first I would definitely take a look and watch for a little while, because sometimes this is happening when the birds are learning to fly, and sometimes that's okay. They're not just, they don't usually just leap out of the nest perfect flyers, and are ready to go. It takes a little practice. It takes a little time. So, if they're on the ground, oftentimes the parents are still taking care of them and will continue to take care of them even when they're on the ground. They just needed a little more time for their wings to become powerful enough to lift their little chunky chick bodies off the ground. But if you're like, this bird is like bald and 100% not capable of flying, it clearly just fell out of the nest. If you can locate the nest, pick it up and place it in the nest. And keep an eye on it, and hopefully mom and dad are still around and will continue to take care of the animal. But there are lots of facilities that will take care of baby birds. So don't call your local marine mammal rescue center, but there, you should, a quick Google search should let you know if you've got any kind of bird rescue in the area. Wild birds, songbirds. I mean, it doesn't really matter. There's at least here in North America, it's very, very common for there to be rescues for these types of animals. So so definitely make the call, and if you feel like the animal is in need of rescue, and the same sort of things apply as marine mammal rescue. Sometimes they'll just ask you to watch the bird. Sometimes they'll give you instructions of what they think you should do, or sometimes they'll be like, you know what, we're in the area, we're going to swing by and take a look. And sometimes they'll come by, pick it up, and make sure that it's that it's going to be rescued. So yeah, I mean, sort of the same principles apply, but also, don't be afraid if you're like, oh, I don't want to touch it, but its nest is right there. Go ahead and put it back in the nest, and that can be a good first step. And then keeping an eye on the animal, and hopefully mom and dad are the ones who do the rescuing.
Okay, well there we go. You can touch the babies.
I mean, don't do it for fun.
Yes, you don't do it for fun. But if you see it,
it can be done.
put it back. That information would have been handy. Would have looked for that nest everywhere.
Sometimes it's not possible though too. Like a lot of times, like the nests are way too high in
the one
trees
we rescued, it was from a storm, so it clearly got blown out the nest, but we could not see the nest. That tree was so high, and I'm like, nah, I'm not a monkey. I'm not related to one, but I'm not going to climb up a tree. We have one last question here, and that's a very interesting one. If you do know, has there ever been any rescues from Arctic territories?
Like by the Vancouver Aquarium. I mean, there have been the Alaska Sea Life Center is much further north, and they do rescue animals in their general facility or vicinity is the word I'm looking for. They've rescued walruses, and I don't because it's not my facility, I don't know quite the repertoire they've had, but they have rescued beluga whales. So yeah, so there's depending on where the facility is, there is a possibility of high northern rescues. It's just that there aren't that many facilities. So you've got essentially Alaska Sea Life Center is the only facility that would probably be within the range of animals that live in those high northern areas, so that they might be rescued.
Well, I guess that is as close to the Arctic as we're going to get. But yeah, this has been a very informative episode. And besides the sound issues experienced on my side, apparently, this went very well. So
sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know if it's, honestly, it's probably my headset and I need to get a new one.
It seems to be a little bit of feedback, I think, from both sides. But yeah, and then if I turn down my side, then no one can hear me. So it's just this constant battle of voices. But it's okay, as long as everyone got informed, and we thank you for joining. KP, thank you for joining us.
One day we will have this on.
One day.
One day we will all have the exact same microphones, the exact same earphones. We'll be like the remote Joe Rogan episodes of the internet, where everything will be seamless.
I can't wait. It's going to be so great.
Because it will happen. And this is, as mentioned, this is an experiment for something bigger. So I'd like to thank all the squad for joining us. Maybe, KP, you can give us a quick breakdown. What future video you're planning? Maybe you want to touch a little bit on the topic, or is it still something we have to wait for?
No, I can definitely touch a little bit on what we're going to be talking about. So, like I mentioned before, we're taking a short. Well, we're just taking it a little bit easier this week. So I'm not going to be putting out a video on Wednesday. And that's because I've got a Canadian citizenship test and lots of things going on for me this week. But we are going to put out a video on Saturday. And we're actually going to talk about Wally the walrus, who is currently swimming around the French, coastline, who is very clearly extremely lost. So we're going to talk about that on our currently sort of segment as something that's marine mammal conservation related and relevant for the time being, since he's been puttering around Europe for several months now, and trying to figure out if there's anything that needs to be done about that. So that's what you can look forward to on Saturday.
I was actually just about to ask about Wally, so it's very I will ask one more question I forgot to ask, and it's just a simple yes or no question because I think this is more gratifying for me.
It's
Out of those,
never a simple yes or no question with me.
like I know this one I feel like it almost needs to be like, has the facilities, like in general, ever successfully prosecuted someone that has shot one of the otters that have been rescued? Because I think that's one of the largest things that happened.
Yeah. The facility doesn't do that kind of thing. That would be more up to the government and stuff like that. But there have absolutely been people who have served extensive jail time, had enormous fines. If you are found to have not even just shot, like that's really, really bad, but like even just to have harassed a marine mammal in any sort of way, there have been lots of people who have been prosecuted for this type of thing. Absolutely.
Now
It's a
that
very big thing,
is justice,
especially
yes.
also in here in Hawaii. It's a very big thing.
Yeah.
You will go to jail and you will pay a lot of money.
Even in our country, there are some forms of human assault that you can get less of a sentence than if you actually attacked one of the seals in Cape Town Harbor. It's like it's that serious. Like you do not have any right to touch that animal, and especially shoot them for no reason because they're such a threat. You're in their zone, you're in their habitat, and you feel the need that that's the best action to take. So it's terrible. I'm glad we ended off on a positive note where we know that people actually did get prosecuted.
Yep.
But anyway, thanks a lot for joining. We're going to be doing a stream this Saturday. KB's going to be doing a charity stream, and we're trying to organize it in such a way that no matter who is streaming, whether we're doing it separately, together, that we're going to be donating to the same facility. So we're trying to organize that in a way that the moment you donate, it's going to go straight to that place. We're still organizing that, but it's going to be something very exciting to be a part of, even in a small way. So hopefully we will see you then. I think you took a special day off for this on Saturday.
I did. I took the day off. And and even if you can't donate, guys, do not worry about that. We only want people to donate if they are able.
Yes.
And only donate what you can. And if all you can do is come hang out with us and play games with us and watch our streams, and even if you're just lurking there, that is all super valuable. So in any way that you can contribute and come by and say hi is so valuable to us. So
it's going to be for a very good cause, and that's what we want to get out there. As KP said, it's our way of showing support and volunteering our time to help animals that we can't physically. Well, KP can, KP does, but people like myself at home, it's a great thing. So thank you very much, ladies. I appreciate your time. For my side of the chat, we're going to be cooking with Gustav now, so stick around.
Oh, nice.
And for those others, I hope you enjoy the rest of the stream with KP. So yes.
All right, have a good one.
Have a good one. Cheerio.
Bye.
All right, everyone. I'm going to be moving over to the channel where we're going to be cooking with Gustav. And
Alrighty.
But thank you very much, Reiha. I appreciate your time and your effort.
I'm gonna double check this recording that I did and see how the audio sounds on it.
No, excellent. Thanks a lot. Cheers. All right, let's jump straight into it. I've just not shared my screen, but don't worry, we will share it now. We're going to be cooking with Gustav today, and maybe we're going to have a special guest with us. So I'm just setting that up now. So for those of you who haven't even watched, I'm not going to actually be cooking, but it's just something nice. If you like to see pizzas on the floor, if you like to see that happen, then that is something you should enjoy. We're going to be doing it for about an hour or so, because that apparently takes that's how long it takes me to make a pizza, even virtually. I don't know why, but it takes me that long to make a pizza, and I only have energy for one. So that's something that's going to be very entertaining. And yes, it'll be Gustav that will be cooking, and we have a special guest, a little surprise, and hopefully it comes through, there's no audio issues, and it works. But just to recap, everyone, it's going to be a cooking show. So it is a cooking simulator. So in everything, the only thing that's going to be there is going to be virtual. And I'd like to thanks to everyone showing the support. So as mentioned, we're going to be creating what's known as a Tiltify link at the end of, within this week. And just to explain what that is that instead of asking for donations that get to us and then we have the process to go to the organizations, these links are connected directly to the organizations. So on Saturday, if you have, as I said, the option to donate, well, they go straight to the facility. It's a blessing in disguise. We don't have to process anything. We don't have to go through the admin of it. Also, I believe there's also, you can actually have your tax certificate for it, which is very important. Because I know a lot of people will be asking that of, right, but do I get my tax certificate? You do it through this, you actually get all that documentation and we don't have to worry about the thing. It won't be an overcooked cooking game. This is actually going to be cooking simulator. So I was playing Overcooked, but I didn't like the floors falling from underneath me with volcanoes in the background while I was trying to make a pancake. It didn't make sense. So you will see a black screen, but now we're going to very quickly switch over to Gustav when it actually appears. All right, let's get this going. And the horrible thing is that actually last week, because there was music in the background, the video decided to there we go. The video decided to give me a copyright claim strike because it's music in the game that I didn't make. But it was like, nope, that's not allowed. So we're trying to just prevent that at the moment. Turn down the music. And then we will cross over to our very special guest, Gustav. Okay. Why am I alone on Twitch chat? Where is everyone? Maddie, either everyone's on YouTube or they're on the Discord channel. So I'm gonna be on the Discord channel, and I'm gonna be moving everyone to game stream. So be prepared, Daisy and Tessa. I'm just randomly moving people across. There we go. Sorry, just so things are a little bit easier. People mustn't follow me. All right. Do we want to see Gustav? Yes, we do. And then we'll have a special guest in the middle, but Gustav will introduce that to you. And everybody has been waiting here for over an hour. Maddie, if you want to go to Discord, you can go. You can stay here. I'm watching everything happening in front of me. It's good to have everybody. Today we're going to be making the pizza again. But I'm feeling a little bit like we need a little bit more spice in the pizza, in a bit of a chaos. So today we might have the little Tazlina join us, and she'll be making the pizza. So first of all, let's just go and see what we need to make today. We're going to accept a new other ride. We're making salami. I didn't even know that is something that we could do. Could we make salami? Okay, so we're going to have to get all these ingredients, and I've learned something that all I need to do is not be the what's known as the palooka and grab everything from one place to another. We're first going to fill this jug with water. What happened to my jug? Hello, Monsieur Jug? This is unacceptable. I seem to... Oh, there's the jug over here. We need the water jug. So we're going to put the water in the jug. And we need 2.5 liters because that is the proper measurement. I don't know what you fucks are using. Your metric system. Hello, Pugmom. It's good to see that you have moved. Oh, no. It's overflowing with the water. Oh, sacre bleu. I made a mistake. Let's just pour a little bit of water out. Don't worry, it's only a little bit. Or are you going to pour everything out? That's... You know, this is why I had something perfect, and then it's very difficult when you don't have the hands to use sacre bleu. So you're going to put the water in the sorry, I was using my paws there. Or let's move this way. Excellent. This way. By the power of the Gustav's mind, we're just going to pour the water. only 2.5. Where is the rest of my water? This does make sense. There we go. Just the little more. Don't worry, that is perfect. We've got the water. Can everyone see the... Do we chat on general chat? Monsieur the Jacka, the Yole, you can chat in the general stream chat. Absolutely. You can move over to there if you want to chat on Discord. And that is fine with me. I don't really care. This is Jason's channel. You can chat wherever you want, actually. But I know Jason will be like, oh no, sacre bleu, you must chat over here. I am king, blah blah blah. I'm a banana. Oh, seriously. I almost said the bad French word accidentally. But I realized, no, that's not going to be. Oh, there we go. I don't know how I mixed. Ah, the perfect. I got the 2.4 liters to the T, so to speak. Let's put this water jug where we need it. Let's put it. No, we're not gonna. Sacre bleu. You might excuse me that I don't have the. Seriously, why is this thing always going on the ledge? Thank you, Mr. Jug. And then we need the flour. And we need the salt. So we're going to grab the flour. Thank you for the flour. I just ended up buying the flour. And we're going to pour it in here. No, how about there? 3.5 kilograms of the flour. Let's just empty out the whole thing. There we go. Yes, we're making the progress. So I think what we'll do is that we will prepare just the basic ingredients, and then we'll hand it over to Tina to actually cook the pizza and see what she's going to do with it, because I am not going to be blamed for that again. Yes, I remember how everyone was a little bit harsh towards me about the way and my cooking method, forgetting that I may be French. There was a basket here this whole time. Sacre bleu, why do I need 2 baskets? I hurt myself. Can I put the basket back? No? Okay, we're just gonna take this basket and we're going to get the spice. Hello, Spice Rack. I'm looking for the salt. If I can remember where everything is, that will be good. And the yeast? Why is this no spice? Oh, sacre. I know where it is. It's in this little box over here. Ah, sacre. You put this on the counter. I can hear the birds outside. Hello? I'd like the yeast, the bar. I'm just going to put the block in there. There you go, little block. Cheerio. There we go, so simple. And the salt. We're going to make the salt. Well, this should be under spices. I don't know what. Spices. Buy the salt. Ah, there we go. And then we shake it. Oh, slow down there, little Pete. It's just going. Can I? Oh, large holes. I didn't know that I could make the holes bigger. Ah, I have ruined the salt because I made the hole bigger. But it just, you know what? It's okay. I don't feel like that's really going to hurt us at the end of the day. But we're still going to do it. So we put one more ingredient than we should. And then we're going to put this little mechanical thing down. There we go. And then we're going to turn the button. Remember, we're pushing the green button. Every time I forget to push the green button. Alright, now what is we going to do next? We made the salami, and now we made the marinara. I don't feel, is this a salami pizza? It's just gonna be, okay, the marinara sauce. We're going to need tomato, olive oil, salt, oregano, the garlic, the basil, and the olive oil. Oh, well, these are all things we can collect. Now we can take the basket. They need the, no, why would you do this to me? Do you mind? Oh, cell phone technology. They're going to pin this. There we go. Alright. They need the oregano dried. None of this. Oh, there we go. They got the basil. 2. There. Is there 30 grams of basil? Okay. Did I get 30 grams of basil? I think I did. Let's go downstairs and get there. Okay, don't worry. It's just a leaf, everybody. You shouldn't be too. It's just a little leaf. Don't worry. We can wash it. If you really feel like we need the garlic. How much garlic do we need? We need 20 grams of garlic. Sacre bleu. 2 more. I wish this basket would tell me what else I need. Then we need we got the salt up these stairs. Oh, sacre bleu. I keep bumping into these silly things. And we need the what's the sunrise tomato. Okay. No, that is a pepper. That is a cherry tomato. That's a carrot. That's more cherry tomatoes. I just seem to have the tomatoes in here. Where? Ah, look, we found the tomatoes. 1.6 kilograms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would like to point out that I never did well in mathematics. So in all retrospect, if I got that wrong, sacre bleu. Nobody cares. Don't worry, this pizza is going to be amazing. Is there anything in here? No, don't close the fridge. Don't hit my basket. Where is the olive of oil? Can I? Okay, I'm going to have to go upstairs. I keep bumping into these things. It's very. Oh, we forgot the origami drad, but I can't find where that is. Hello, origami drad. Where's origami drad? Hello, Defire. It's good to see you. I like to see the breaking news. The breaking news that Teslina has met Quatsi. I like to point out that Teslina had already met Quatsi, just in the different universe that was Zeta's talks. We somewhat predicted the future, did we not? Ne? I feel like that is something that we are doing rather often lately. Ready, I finally found my way. So good to see you. Alright, we're going to put this on the counter. There we go. And then we're going to buy the olive oil. There we go. I feel like we're going to be making it on here. I could be wrong, but we're about to find out. Hello, olive oil. Yes, so this is where we're making it. I hope when Teslina comes around she doesn't ruin the pizza, because I'm doing rather well except for the slightly salty dough. Everything else is being very good. Just a few more. You know what, we're not going to do today. As I said, I want to make sure everything is a-okay. Hey, look at that, and we got a perfect amount of ingredients, so we're just going to ploop everything in there. Everything goes inside, everything wins, it's Oprah Winfrey time, yee! Oh wait a minute, we forgot, we're missing a key ingredient. The origami dried. Origami dried, okay, so... Where do I find that origami dried? Oh, okay, so it is a shaker. Don't worry, it is a shaker. We get the larger hole. 1, 2. And then the small 1, 2, 4. There we go. See, we have managed to do everything properly today. We put this back inside. We get the salt. We close the. Listen. I'm trying to. I have to mumble under my words. 1, 2, 3. Then. Close the lid at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect, magnifique. Mwah. Kiss the thumbs that I do not have, and let's get this thing cooking. Oh wait, we got to put a little tray in. Of course. The tray goes inside, and we're going to start that up. Doing that, we're going to take this little basket of the dough, and we're going to take it to the front. Put it on the table. Put it on the table. Put it on the table. I think we're going to need the medium plate. So we're going to get a plate. Okay, we also can't put the plate there. And then we're going to get the salami. So what else do we need? Do we need the salami? I'm assuming so. The basil leaf and the salami and the mozzarella. We should have bought a little basket, but you got a basket down here. It does not matter. So we need to get some mozzarella cheese. Is that just raw mozzarella? So you're not being very specific. No, the buffalo. No, they did not say the buffalo mozzarella. It was the sacre bleu. Just go back. No, just seriously, you're hurting my feelings now. Unpin this. And you take this little button here, and I'm going to break this in half. Mozzarella grated. Yeah, well, could you tell me what the mozzarella is? I know what the salami is. Mini salami, mini salami. The salami, the salami. Just 300 grams of salami. That's a very long salami. Oh, we need only a little bit. The cheese, it should be the white cheese, but I'm not finding. And if anything, I know my fromage. My fromage is something I'm very good at, but I'm not finding the mozzarella of the cheese. Why? The other cheese is not what I'm looking for. There's a very big difference between the cheeses. Just a Parmesan cheese? No, yes. Maybe I shall make it with the chocolate. No. Just on. You see, wait a minute. Is it? There we go. They got the mozzarella cheese ball. Now we. Oh! My foot stubs have been injured. I need a moment. Sacre bleu. Oh, son of Jesus. Spice rack. Yeah, I wish we had the spice rack, but as you can see. Oh, now you see the problem here is that we have too many baskets lying around. Can we take this basket back down? Can we just put... I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to throw it over here. There you go. Just throw the basket down. And now we can cut up the salami slices. Grab the... Okay, we don't care about... We don't really care about having to pick this up. There we go. So put the salami in the cutter. And then we put the little tray with, there's so many of these little trays. Sacre bleu. Oh, nothing better than cutting the salami. Hell it is. Show him who's boss. Oh no, sacre bleu, I have tipped the basket. Oh, the cheese is everywhere. Oh, no. I did not mean that. Sorry, Mr. Cheese. I didn't. Now. Should I say it? You know what I'm going to say. Can I say it? I'm going to cut the cheese. No, this is not overcooked. This is cooking simulator. Yes, correct, Senshite. I was playing the overcooked simulator. I don't know if that was accidentally put in. This is not overcooked. It is a very difficult game to play. As mentioned, I don't like walking on lava while I'm trying to make the food. It doesn't make sense. Alright, we're gonna take these trays. And we're going to put it in the little sloots. There we go. The sloot. And then we're going to take this. I must be careful when I say that word. We're going to put it in the little openings over here. And right. And we're almost ready to make the pizza. So now that I've done my bit, my job is preparation. Where we need Teslina to walk in here. So one moment, everyone. While we organize Teslina May. She will be here soon.
me as Tazzy? If my voice sounds deep, it's not Tazzy's fault. Tazzy doesn't blame Donna. Tazzy would also try to use commands. What's going on here? I see we're asking Tazina so many questions, and we're gonna make the pizza. Alright. Is there clams on the pizza? Can we make a pizza? Let's see what we have to do. Tazina makes a pizza. She's gonna make a pizza. A little round flavor circle. Flavor circle. Flavor circle. This too big. This is large. This is like Joey size little doughs. We need to make it smaller, so we need to make it quatsy size. Oh no, not quatsy size. Did you see I made quatsy today? I also made quatsy on Tassos, but I made quatsy today as well. And she's so fluffy, and she's so cute, and she's so quiet. That's the best part. She's very quiet. So we're gonna celebrate with making a pizza. So let's make Tazmina's favorite pizza. Because every pizza is Tazmina's favorite. Okay, we're gonna make I don't know what to do. Must I put fire in the ovens? I'm not allowed to touch things like this. I'm being forbidden. Okay, we roll this out. Because we use Tazmina's tools. And rolls, and rolls, and rolls, and rolls. And we use white ingredients. I don't know how to make this. What's a basil leaf? Basil leaf? Okay, we make basil leaf. Is it basil leaf? Oh, look, it's basil leaves. How much must we put? 24, 24. Okay, that's 7, 6, 19, 30, 12, 120. That looks right? That looks right? I think it's right. Then we take the... Oh no! We didn't add the sauce. That's Gustav's fault. Gustav didn't tell me we had to add the sauce. So we grab the sauce. Can I put my paws in here? I put my paws. Can we just... I know it's... Oh, Tazzy liked this. Tazzy put a lot of sauce. Tazzy wants pizza to be enjoyed by all. So I put a lot of sauce. And then the cheese. And 99, or is that 66? Did they put that number wrong? I don't know. So we goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. That's too much cheese, but no. You know what? This is Tazzy's pizza. Tazzy wants very cheesy pizza. Tazzy ran out of beets, and you know what? Then I put the clams, as Gustav would say, and we go everywhere. I want s'mores. Tazzy puts s'mores and puts a lot of meats and steaks. Look, that looks more tasty than what the shop said I must put. So So this is going to be very tasty pizza, and I ran out of ingredients. And I grabbed... Oh! Look what I got! Look what I got! Bang, bang, bang! No, there's a big paddle! Look! Cat, I got the big paddle! Oh my goodness, I got the big paddle! And then I hit... Oh! No, Tazzy, pick up! Oh! And then Tazzy is going... Oh! Can I... No, Tazzy pick up quickly, didn't fall on floor, and I go put pizza in oven. Oven scares me. Yes, it still looks okay. Tazina make pizza, where everyone can eat her, and I just make up words. Burn! Tazzy makes sure pizza well cooked and warms. Like when I squish my siblings, I want to make sure they're warms, so I gotta make sure my pizzas is warms. It's burning, and now we take the plate and we get ready for the pizza. No one saw this. Oh no. Tazzy didn't do anything. Oh, don't tell Katma. Don't tell Auntie Sion. Don't tell Auntie Rachel. I did not sing. Wasn't me. Oh no. Katma. Oh no. Pick it up. Oh, there was one right here. Okay. And we just put that over there. Is pizza burning? Pizza might be burning, so we just go and grab pizza. Oh, let's take a look at the pizza. See, when Tazzy added more cheese and added more ingredients, much better pizza. Now we get plates again. And, oh wait, we still got... I was going to pick up... Why are plates so sensitive? Tazlina, it's not Tazlina's fault. Plates are just horrible. Okay, we just put that down. That's actually quite I'm just... And I grabbed another plate. I'm just testing if the plate will actually fly in a way. It did. Don't tell anyone. Tazzy didn't break plates. Tazzy broke plates, but it's plate's fault for being so round and breakable. And there we go. And then that one over there. It's okay. That's just humans, people's lands. They can clean it up afterwards. It doesn't really matter. There you go. Would you like a plate? There we go. We get plates. Now we pick up plates over here. Be very gentle with the plate. Slowly put over here. Tazzy has put dough here. Tazzy don't know where to put the dough. Tazzy go and put those. Tazzy didn't do that. Tazzy was never there. Tazzy didn't break any glass. Tazzy's trying to serve pizza that's very warm. There we go. And we put... No, don't do that. Auntie Tessa will be upset. There we go. It was clean. I promise it was clean. And we pick up the pizza. And... Ready! Bye, pizza. Save me slices. Oh, look! Tazzy didn't put enough cheese. Different type than ordered. Different type of cheese than ordered. That's Gustav's fault. That's not my fault. Gustav's didn't do that right. Look, you see, Tazlina put more salami cuts than what was on what Tazlina got told, and they liked it because Tazzy is always right, and you don't fight the Taznado. It's now Tazina not meaning to do that. Tazina go wash dishes. Tazina go wash dishes because Tazina likes to groom not just otters. Tazina likes to groom things that need to be tidied. And we put in there, and we put it in there, and we runs water. See? Clean, grooms. Tazzy grooms the other little container so much that it vanished. It was so dirty. Oh, see, we grooms this too. Put sponge down and Tazzy's customers are very happy today. They're getting the broken glass special, which, if you're an otter, that's very special because you know it was made especially by Taz. There's Taz memorials and glasses and stuffs. What kinds of pizza? That was a salami pizza, and I put a lot of salami because if it's a salami pizza, it's not a cheese with a little salami pizza. It's a salami pizza. So I made a salami pizza, and so there's a lot of salami. And then I cleans. Grooms, that's all, Matt. Grooms. And Tazlina again has groomed the best grooms ever. Woohoo! It puts on there, put basket over there, because Taz can. Now Tazlina gets to get one more orders, because Tazlina wants vegetarian. No, sis. Why do you want vegetarian pizzas? New York dough style. Now, this Tazlina's not made this dough style. Why? We're going to have to bring Gustav's back because Tazlina does not know how to prepare things. And actually, we're going to leave that to Gustav. Gustav! Where is Gustav?
I don't know what is going on here. Everything seems to be in order and clean, but at the same time, I'm wondering where is. Can I put it back down here? The Max is. What is the basket doing in the middle of nowhere? Sacrabla, who did this? Tazlina Miss Powers is responsible. I can smell it. And we're going to make the New York style dough. Why do we have to make the different style of dough? We've just made so much of the flour and the dough, and now we're just going to have to make our own. No, it's a machine. Open the machine and pour the ingredients in. And once the ingredients in the dough mix. Excusez-moi? Universal flour, sacre bleu. Okay, you can get out of there, little bag. I made the mistake. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to push this button and hopefully everything will just be immediately destroyed. Excellent, we need the universal flour. There we go. Universal flour. Whoops, I thought I was pouring too much. There. They pour, and then the 3.5 kilograms. How big is this pizza going to be perfectly on? Just carry on pouring. Almost there. Woo! Woo! There we go. So throw the rest of the ingredients. And you know, sacre bleu, we don't need this anymore. I know it's a waste, but don't worry everyone, this is the virtual world. Where's the vase? Now this is things I could not let Taz do, because you know what would happen. I'm surprised there's no broken plates lying around everywhere. I feel like that's Taz would have do, broken bottles. Very suspicious that there's nothing. Alright, let's go pour the water in the, I keep pushing the run button. They move this that way and I move it that way, and then they pour the water. And only 1.9 of the water came out of that side. The rest of it, don't know what happened to it. It's alright. Don't worry. Oh, no, sacre bleu. Too much water. Too much. I'm trying to turn out the tap and it wouldn't stop at the tap. Okay, so maybe I will just pour from here. Oh, no, don't worry. We'll just pour everything on the floor. Fantastic. That is exactly what I wanted to do with the water that I was trying to put inside the vase. Don't worry, we're now overflowing completely. Oh, that's fantastic. Maybe we should pour a little bit in here. I'm doing spectacular, everyone. I feel like if Tazlina was here, she would be judging me extensively. Alright, let's try this again. Move this up, move it across, and then pour the good gram water. Ah, good, I put too much water. Ah, that's fantastic. You know what? I don't care. We'll just even it out with the salt. So we put in a little bit too much water, which means the dough is going to be very... it's going to be different. Let's just put it this way. Let's open the valves a little bit. There we go. 7 more shakes. So we put a lot of water over what we should have, but it doesn't matter. There we go. 75. And then we need the olive oil. Oh, hey, where's my olive oil? I had olive oil here and now it's gone. What is... I spent good money. Tazlina, the mayor's prowess, has done it again. I used to have a perfectly good bottle of olive oil and now it is missing. A coincidence? No. Cannot be. They put the little block inside. There you go. And then we go to get the flour or the sugar. No, there was a sugar. Where sugar? Can I just... No, not the brown sugar. We want this sugar. There we go. Everything is so convenient in the little container. There we go. Open up the holes a little bit to make sure we can give the 7 shakes. There we go. Very interesting ingredient, this New York style of dough. And then all we would need is yeah, we got too much water. I get that. Don't judge me. We just need the oil. And then we can make the very disgusting New York style dough. Let's pour this in. There we go. No, sacre bleu. They cook the pizza. Apparently this is based on real ingredients, so if you can make this, you should be able to make the pizza in real life. But the jury is not in on that. Oh, well, we've got a very oily, watery pizza. That's unwanted. What is the unwanted ingredient inside the... Oh no, sacre bleu, I dropped... Ah, thank good I recovered it. Don't worry, no one will notice, except everyone that is watching across the world. And we're going to put this in, and yes, the dough is going to come out in a way that is not favorable to the tongue, but it doesn't matter, you know why? Because I am Gustav, and I'll make this pizza the way I want to make my pizza. Alright, let's... The garlic ranch sauce. That sounds disgusting, to be perfectly honest. No, actually, look at these ingredients. It looks amazing. Then, okay, we'll go downstairs to grab the garlic. Yeah. See, it came out relatively okay. There's no need to fret or worry about. So we go get the garlic and the mayonnaise. So we need how many grams of garlic? We need 5 cloves of the garlic. I love the garlic. Actually, we need the 10 cloves. That was 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I feel like I'm not working this out correctly. To be perfectly honest, something is very wrong. I admit I've made errors in judgment. I have put too much garlic in the box. So we're going to just randomly, you know, when you need the bin It is never around. Don't worry, we'll just throw it on the floor. You know why? Because Tazlina will be here and she will clean everything and everything will be alright. There we go, 60. We put... No, don't be like that. No, seriously, little basket. I will immediately hurt you. And there we go. Don't worry, as I said before, we will get Tazlina Mare to fix everything for us. So we're going to need the black pepper. I did notice there was probably black pepper upstairs. And the onion powder. And the parsley and the dill weed, so to speak. And the mayonnaise. These are a lot of things that are not available immediately in front of us over here. So that is unfortunate. But don't worry, we will still make a do with what we have. So let's see if there's anything in here. This is all the cheese and the meat. So we don't need anything here. Oh, okay. Well, that is a new one. I got my. Okay, we've broke. Hello, Can I have my box back, please? No, seriously, what has happened? I have broken the. Oh no, sacre bleu. We're not going to be making the. Listen, can I have my box? How am I going to hope these ingredients don't need? Let me just check, otherwise we've just ruined the order. We may have to cut this off if I need something from the fridge. Oh no, don't worry, we don't need anything from. No, sacre bleu, we need some mozzarella cheese. Listen, little. I'm not going to say the word of information with what just happened over there. Can I please, yes, I'd like to open the carton, but it won't let me open the carton. Okay, so fine, we're just going to put everything on the table yet again. No, yes, that is the way we want to do it. We want to put it over here, but no, it's cool. Right, we've got the salt. What we need is the black pepper. The black peppers is right over here. There we go. Yes, of course. Of course you'd go over there and not where I tell you to go. Why would you do that? You know why? Because you're stupid. I know that was Italian, but okay. I am multicultural. And then we need the what else do we need? Onion powder. What terrible invention is this onion powder? Okay, we're going to put the onion powder in there. And then we need the parsley, the dill with the milk, and the sour cream. Oh, okay, so the parsley is kind of easy to do, because I mean that's going to be right on over here. There we go. The parsley is going to be inside. We're just going to actually put everything inside this. There we go. And the dill. Do you want the? There we go. The dill is going to go straight into there. There we go. We're doing very well, everyone. Don't you agree? We're doing very well. The spats, the mishaps that we've recently had, we're doing very well, and that's the way to look at things. We're going to take them. Oh, the plastic container. These people, sacrilege. They don't know how to make the food. Oh, look at that. Who puts the mayonnaise in such a I'm not eating that properly. Such a terrible canister. Ugh. This is not okay. Yes, carry on pouring. I don't know that if I've seen anything ever. I've run out of mayonnaise. Where did I pour it? I'm going to have to get more of the mayonnaise. Okay, there's a lot of mayonnaise. Good gracious, that might be too tangy for some Europeans. Don't worry, we're getting there. We're pouring a little bit more. And then we will. Yes, we're going to not tempt fate, ladies and gentlemen. No, we're going to. Why did that sound like the glass? This is not glass. This is everything but. I want to put it in the box. There we go. Somehow that fits. And we need the sour cream. Now that, that is something I can relate to. The sour cream is in every good dish. Why is it also. Okay, it's in a little milk container. Oh, okay. I didn't ask you to pour, but fine. You want to pour? Just immediately threw out my lid, but it's fine. It's a lot of sour cream in one little jug of a little cup. A cup. At least I've got 250 yeah, let's just see what is going on in the world of chat too. I must understand everyone must be screaming at me because I'm not making this properly, but let's be perfectly honest. I am doing a fantastic job. You could not make the better pizza without only using your feet? Ooh, eggplant, yes. I would have so not have to clean the kitchen. Don't worry, like I said, we have everything's going to be dirty though. No, that's why we have Teslina. As reckless as she is a very fussy about having everything groomed and shiny. So she will be back here to clean everything. I will leave her a message to go below and find where the mess is. Sacre bleu, we've run out of the sour cream sauce. Why do I have to buy one at a time? That is very counterproductive. Okay, there we go. We're gonna just empty everything. There, pour it in, absolutely. There we go. Is that not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? Magnifique. What is going on with all this sour cream? This thing is going to be a little bit too rich. I like my sour cream, but this is getting ridiculous. There will pour it. No. Take it easy. No need to... Oh, you know what? I'm going to leave it as is. And we should put the sour cream in the fridge. But we're going to leave it in the sun, basically, in a very warm area where it's going to become a little more sour. And you know, that's perfectly fine, because it is the sour cream, is it not? It is a sour cream, so we're going to leave this up. This is in a classic little container, which is actually very hilarious. The Mumu has given up the other to give me this glorious milk. I just like how the lid just flew off in a fit of rage. Oh, we're going to actually... This is going to work. Okay, so we only need one container for the milk. Okay. This little... There we go. We don't need to be brave over there. Can I put this in the counter? No, I cannot put this in the counter. So we throw it away, because milk, you don't want milk to spoil. That is not very good. And we've made everything. Oh, now we just need the onion powder. This is a very weird sauce, if I do say so myself. And how much of the powder are we going to put in the... only 15? Okay. The 15. There we go. They put this back and so... They get the salt. They're going to put the 30 grams of salt in this concoction of whatever this is actually going to become after I run the dough. Don't worry, we're doing everything else perfectly fine, so don't judge me. And now we're going to get the black of the pepper. And we're going to put the... sacre bleu, close it. Don't worry. The black of the peppers. And open the lid. And scrunch, and scrunch, and scrunch. And there we go. There's no more pepper. And we just going to close. What is this random little ball doing over here? Shall we just throw it away, even if we might need it later? You know, I feel like Teslina is probably going to break this again, even though she might admit she didn't. And... Why? Is there a reason that I... Just let me go like this, and they put it lying down. Okay. We're all going to be that kind of the bottle that we can't put anywhere. And wait a minute, can I put this on the shelf over here? Please, allow me to put this on the shelf. There we go. So now that has saved everything from Teslina possibly breaking that. And now we just need the garlic... A basket. Why is there only 40 garlic in here? I don't understand. Sacre bleu. There we go. Put the garlic. We need more garlic. You know where I'm going with this. Don't worry, everyone. Don't worry. Whoever's going to be eating this is going to love it. It's going to just have a little more spice. No, it's not. Want not. Just put this. Put the garlic back where it belongs in the little thingy. There we go. Fresh garlic with a hint of a little bit of black bits that you might ask. What is this little black bit? It's pepper. There we go. Perfect. Don't worry. Once you heat things up, it doesn't really matter, does it? There we go. And we put this inside, and we start making this. Then. What other ingredients do we now need to make this successful little pizza? The vegetarian. Oh, look at this. We need zucchini. We need the red, green, and yellow spinach and the basil. Fine, we're gonna take a little basket over here and go back downstairs to collect the vegetables. The big giggles. So we got the... we got 50 grams. Oh, that's too many. The 1, the 2, the zucchini, the 3. What else do we need again? The spinach leaf. If I was a spinach leaf, where would I be? Spinach leaf, where would I be? Very empty at the bottom. Oh, we're going to need the mozzarella ball again. So that is something we're going to need. I did not mean to grab 2. Ah, no, don't trap me in there. Can I just... You know what, I realize I'm going to need 2. I know, you'll find out where. Spinach of the leaf. Where am I going to get the spinach leaf? I've got the here. Yeah, the spinach, the basil. Where is there's the basil. They're very good. And do I need to buy the spinach leaf? Do I actually need to purchase such weird things? I don't need a table fan. I need the spinach of leaves. If I was a spinach leaf, where would I be? This is not making any sense. Excusez-moi, I do not have the spinach of leaves. Is it in the front? I'm not a vegetarian, so I don't actually know. The dill, the thyme, the mint, the parsley, the dill, the rosemary, and the basil, but no spinach leaf. Ah, someone just gave me some love over there. Hello, Monsieur Gustave. Hey, the one and wins is here. The Georgie is here. Oh, sacre bleu, so many people have just suddenly joined the Wine and Wins is hosting channel. Oh, they have been raided. That's the only time in my French history that that's been a good thing. Oh, sacre bleu, I should not say things like that. But I am going to say it because I'm French and I'm proud that even though we got raided, at least in this case, it's a good thing. Do you like my big zucchini? Yes, welcome to the show. If you've joined, you're going to get that sort of things. By the way, audience members, if I was a spinach leaf, what would I be? Thank you for the raid, Wine and Wins, Muskepi, who keeps giving me to the otters. I do not ask for such things, but I end up there. But it's okay, I've learned to adjust. Spinach leaf, thank you for all the follows. Everyone is following me. Good love. Sacre bleu, what is this? Spinach leaf? Or spinach leaf? I'm just checking every container now. Zach, you should be hanging somewhere like a leaf, because you're a spinach leaf. No? Ah, look, I found the spinach leaf. One of them. Oh, so put it in the... Ah, oops. Don't worry, we just going to put it in there. We don't care. And we got enough spinach leaf, yes. Thank you for all the follows, everyone. Oh, look at this. Everyone, Gustav, they follow, the multiple of the follows, this follow here. Everyone follow me, says thank you, I'm Red. Welcome to the show, my name is Gustav. I am the tutor that you normally see at the aquarium. And I am making the pizza, and don't worry, when we've done with this, Teslina is going to be joining us. That's right, Teslina is going to be joining us. Now, do I need to cut the peppers? Yes, I'm probably going to need to cut the peppers. And we're going to have the different trays of the peppers. Maybe I can combine the... Oh, no, this won't let me happen. Okay, fine. Just do your thing. There's one pepper. They get the next tray. Get the other pepper. Can I have the pepper, please? Give me the pepper. Give me the pepper. I've got too many baskets. Okay, I can't. Ah, I just need to put a tray. I have to do this individually. This is outrageous. Cut the... Oh no! Sacre bleu, everything's been launched into the stratosphere. Where is my basket? Basket, where are... Oh no! Terrible, terrible. This is not happening. Oh no, the little basket has flown. And somehow the cheese stayed inside. That is a very good citizen of the world. He stayed inside. Don't worry, it's a pepper. It's got covering on it. It'll be fine. We'll put this over here. So much. Thank you for the follow again. Another follow. Everyone's following the Gustav. Alright. No, sacre bleu. I always need these silly little tries. It's making my life difficult. I don't have arms. Can you not see? This is not okay. Cut the... Right, now we have everything we need on this side. She puts the cheese in there. We're going to cut the cheese. I never get tired of saying that. Cut the cheese. There. They cut the little fromage. And they're going to get this little container. And they're going to put it in the butter. And they're going to cut the cheese. Get ready for the smell. Delicious. Right. I don't know if I need to. I think I. This Mr. Basket, don't fight with me. We're going to put. We're running out of space. Are we going to need to cut the spinach leaf as well? Can I grab the spinach leaf? Grab the basil. Put the basil. Can I? No, I'm not going to put the basil. Okay, basil is going to go where. Why is there so many broken plates outside? What is going on here? Excuse me, patrons. Have you been throwing plates out here? Do you not see we are in Italy? This is not Greek. Goodness, there's so many broken plates out here. Taslina would probably be very angry because everything's such a mess. Can I just grab the basil, please? I just want to grab... Sacre bleu. Okay, I realize that I'm short, but this is ridiculous. Okay, we're going to put it... Oh, we're also not going to put it in there. Okay. So that's fine. We're going to take the little trays and move it to the front so that Taslina can come in and start to make the food. There we go. Going to put it over there. And it's going to take here. It's taking very long to make one pizza. I do understand. No, don't close it. Sacre bleu. Could you open up, please? Excusez-moi. Thank you. Put the peppers. And then we're going to get this. You know, I feel like as if I had better facilities or more appendages. I probably wouldn't need to do this once at a time. But here we are together doing this. I forgot about my sauce. Oh, that does not look like garlic ranch sauce at all. Oh, that looks delicious. It doesn't really look delicious. How am I supposed to... Listen, I'm supposed to put this in... There we go. Okay, we just could have done that over there. We don't need to just throw all the trays around. Oh my goodness, I have another follow, everyone, from the Twitch side of the world. Is there anything I'm missing in the basket? No missing the basket? Okay, we're gonna return the basket down the stairs. But you know what? Gustav doesn't want to really walk down the stairs, so we're just gonna plant it in the middle. And there we go. So I think we're ready to make the pizza. All right, now we'll phone Taslina May, and she'll come make the pizza. But first, we need to contact her. What is this? She uses a shell phone. Don't worry, everyone. Taslina will be with us soon, and we can carry on with the show. Taslina, you may take over.
What? Hello? It's Taslina. So, Jacob says you can pull out the tray holder from the other rooms. What? You can pull the trays from the other rooms? I try. I try now. Migos and chicks. Gustav did not know this, and I did, so tell Gustav that I learned things. It's not that anyone told me. I learned it by myself, because I am Taslina. Thank you, my special squishy, for telling me how to do something I technically already knew. Wait, okay, so now we got everything. we can make the pizza. Oh! Oh no, Tazina forgot to clean this. Tazina. Tazina is Tazzy likes to keep things clean. Don't tell Katma of all the broken plates. Or KP. Alright. We fix this up. And we put it in the bins. Because I heard Gustav screaming, and I don't like when Gustav screams. And we have cleaned, although I still feel this is dirty. I don't know what it is, but I still feel there is dirt everywhere. But first of all, I need to try something. Bonsai! Hit! I got the pole. Wait. Oh, this basket in over here, so we'll put it in the corner. Gustav! No, Gustav! Gustav, very bad. Gustav, no, Gustav! Leave mess on floors. I never leave mess on floors unless they're toys. Oh, Gustav. Oh, no! I returned everything. I'm gonna scream the floors immediately afterwards. That was horrible. Look at this. Gustav's bad toy. Me no chew toy later. I'll rather choose the S toy, or I will chew on John Pierre. I know sauce get cold, but has to groom's floor. Why can't I groom's floors? It won't let me groom the floors. But okay, so can't groom floors. I will tell Gustav that he is a naughty toy. And put sponge back on floor. On counter. Okay. Now we go, makes pizza, and what is the size? It is, oh, it's medium size, so it's not Joey size, it is Kunik size. And we split, and we put that back. There we go. And we go, roll! Tazzy and her tools, hooray. Okay, so we need to put sauce. What is This is not sauce. Smells a little clammy, so our likes. Okay, we will take the sauce. Now let's look at instructions. I was told you need to put 5 notes, 50 grams of everything. They don't know Tazzy. Tazzy make delicious pizza for everyone. Too much green peppers. And make, pizza looking so colorful. Look at this. Tazzy, it doesn't matter. That looks like 50 geese. Very delicious. And put spinach leaves. We don't like leaves. I only like kelp. But this is starting to look like kelp. I can't put that over there. There no cheese. Tazzy uses new trick. Tazzy lost cheese. Cheese. Where's my cheese? Cheese. Did Gustav put cheese somewhere that I'm not seeing? I've lost the cheeses. No. Tazzy finds the cheese because Tazzy is a great detective and finds everything. So now I put lots of cheese. 50 grams. This is 50 grams of cheese, and got to get all around. Tazzy thinks that's gonna be. Tazzy thinks that's perfectly shaped pizza. It's not too high. The pause aren't working. Put pizza in ovens. Gustavus doesn't need to help me because I am Tazlina. I can do things by myself. Tazlina gets plates. Tazlina gets plates. Put plates over here. No. Tazlina gets plates. Tazlina gets plates. Plates not very suitable for Tazlina. Oh, Tazlina needs to cook. There we go. Snuggy, worms. Snuggy, worms. It is cookings of simulator. I am simulating cookings for the Wigglers, making them pizza. No clams though. Got no clams, so cannot make clam chowder. Cannot make Tasnado sauce. Cannot make Taz spinners. Can only make this. If I really want the pizza to be warm. Now Tazlina, wait. What are you, little man? I take picture. We don't take picture no more. Pizza smells very French. Gustav would probably like. Pizza is perfect size. Look at pizza. It is tall. It is massive. It is large. It's sticking up on it. This is a Tazlina's pizza special. If you want to see pizza, that's the way a pizza should look, and that's what you get for ordering vegetarian. Look at pizza. Tazlina made perfect pizza. Slightly overcooked vegetables. It's okay. It's Tazlina extra specials, vegetarian, cat my crown, Joey golden cheese, special vegetarian pizza. And there goes pizza of mountains. And Tazlina has got 0 points on time. Obviously, I think Gustav missed the and the sauce was okay, but let's see ingredients. See, look. Tazlina get so many ticks, but forgot to add basil leaf. But it's okay. That is Gustav's fault for not putting basil leaves. But look, everything, and forgot to put zucchini. Okay, that's definitely Gustav's fault. Where do we see zucchini here? Is there any zucchini? That's Gustav's fault. He did not put any zucchini in here. I have feelings it's in here. Gustav ruined pizza. We must remember that it was Gustav that ruined the pizza, not me, okay? I did not ruin pizza, he did. Oven is still on fire. Slices of bell pepper. Those spiders and stuff, those were slices of bell peppers and oh gosh, Tazzy needs to cleanse everything, but it's okay. Nature will assist outside. Humans will clean up for Tazzy. Here we go. Tazzy says you clean. Because I have to cleanse the oceans up after you by protecting the kelp forests from evil purple urchins so you can cleanse dishes. Here we go. Breaking plates, fun, best toy Tazlina ever has. And then it has a mountain of cheese, but we forgot We forgot to put in the zucchini, but that's not my fault. That's Gustav's fault. He did not have the right ingredients for me. So everything is Gustav's fault. Just remember that. Even broken plates, because Gustav didn't make plates stronger. I cook pizza, and pizza is delicious, and no matter how much ingredients I put on pizza, it always has 3 ticks, because everyone knows that Taslina made the pizza. So I put lots of cheese, and I put lots of ingredients, because everything. Otters can read. I didn't used to know how to read, but Katma taught me how to read, and she taught me the different words, and she says that I before E, except after C, and read with the motion like it's an ocean. And I learned how to read. There's lots. Tazina wants chocolate, but Tazina's not going to have chocolate now. I don't know what this is, but Tazina Mayspowers has cooked for the day. So, yes, the motion of the ocean. They kind of look like that. They're not spiders. Tazina would never cook spiders. Tazina cooked vegetarian, king crown, Katma crown, high rise, Joey's gold, king hat, special vegetarian pizza. But that has been it. That has been it. I was going to hand you over to Gustav, and Gustav's will, I don't know. Gustav's will be Gustav's. So Gustav, you can come back. Gustav, come back.
Okay. What exactly am I doing here? I'm not cooking. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. Gustav is the one sends me to say goodbye. And oh, good gracious, look at the mess outside. Oh, no, Taslina May Spyworth. What am I going to do with you? No matter where I go, there's no real indicative way to escape. Oh, good gracious, girl. Large... And look at this. We're wasting well, we're not wasting, but we're just going to leave this here. No, terrible. These little shenanigans, they don't know how to clean themselves after this. There we go. Okay, so don't worry, we're just going to empty every tray. Oh, good God, what is this? Did Gustav make this? Oh, it looks terrible. Waste not, like I said, we're not really waste not, want not, but we are keeping things clean. This looks like it's 6 years old. Don't forget the orders. Don't tell me what to do, old man. You look kind of like me, but like, it looks like Walter. Oh, Walter. The old goat. There we go. And... voila! Clean kitchen, everyone! That's the way we want it to be. A nice little basket. Return the jug to its former home. We're going to put it, if I can remember, it was over here in the corner. There we go. Oh, no, don't. Oh, no. Look what happened. Oh, we're just going to put... oh, good God, why can't I put this jug down like a normal otter? And this fan is just blowing in my face. Oh, the cat my treatment. Oh, that blew up my nostrils. Oh, my snoot. Yes. Anyway, I am queen, and I have the cleanest kitchen. Look at it gleam. Oh, what is this? Oh, sis. No, come on. You can't keep sour milk on the shelf like that. Okay, everyone. This has been really fun. Thank you to KP for raiding us earlier on. I see Gustav got so excited if he got to chop the zucchini. Oh, phrasing. I did not mean to say that. But, oh, incinerate. Oh, good gracious. I would love to see what that looks like. Oh, no, don't worry. We can't do that now. But thank you for joining, everyone. Please join us on Wednesday where Taslina will be playing Stardew Valley. Good knows what's going to go with that farm and what's going to happen there, but only Taslina will know. And then we're doing a stream, a charity stream, yes, to help little creatures like myself, and big creatures like Joey, and tiny creatures like Quartzy, yes. You can help support them, but don't forget, don't touch the babies. Should I say that one more time in a way that you'll actually understand? I have to summon my inner voice, but yes, please remember to, as always, if you see a little baby otter alone, trapped, or on the beach, call someone to protect them. Don't touch them yourself, okay? Don't touch the babies! Oh, sorry about that. Goodbye, everyone. Farewell. As always, put your noses to the screen. This has been the stream, and here's a special